Think about the wealthiest person you know personally. Not a celebrity, not someone you read about, someone you actually know. Are they wealthy because of their salary or because they own something? If you think about it for a moment, you'll realize something uncomfortable. Almost no one gets rich from a paycheck. Not doctors, not lawyers, not engineers. They get comfortable, sure, stable, but not rich. And there's a reason for that. A salary isn't designed to make you wealthy. It's designed to make you productive. It's compensation for your time and skills calibrated to keep you working, not to set you free. Once you understand this, a lot of things start making sense. Why you feel stuck even when you're making good money. Why raises never seem to change your financial position. Why people who earn less than you somehow seem to have more options. Today, I want to show you exactly how this works. Not as a complaint, just as a mechanism. And once you see it, you can stop expecting your salary to do something it was never designed to do. Let me tell you about Chris. He's 33 years old. He lives in Seattle. He's a software engineer at a mid-sized tech company. He makes $115,000 a year. By most standards, Chris is doing very well. He's in the top 15% of earners in the United States. He has a stable job in a growing field. He's educated, skilled, and well compensated. And he has almost no wealth. Here's what Chris's financial life actually looks like. After federal taxes, state taxes, Social Security, and Medicare, Chris takes home about $6,800 a month. His rent for a one-bedroom apartment in a decent neighborhood is $2,400. His car payment is $520 for a Tesla Model 3 he bought last year when he got a raise. Insurance is $185. He has student loans from his computer science degree, about $430 a month. We're at $3,535 before he's eaten anything. Groceries run about $550, utilities are $140, phone bill is $95, internet is $80. Health insurance through work still costs him $210 a month. Gym membership is $75, streaming services and subscriptions total about $65. He contributes 6% to his 401k, which is $575 a month. That brings us to $5,325. He has $1,475 left for everything else. Restaurants, entertainment, clothes, travel, saving beyond retirement. Chris spends most of that remaining $1,475. He goes out with friends, he buys the occasional gadget, he takes a vacation once a year. He's not extravagant, but he's also not depriving himself. He's living a normal life for someone in his income bracket. At the end of most months, there's maybe $200, $300 left over. Sometimes less, sometimes nothing. Chris has been working as an engineer for 8 years. In that time, he's earned roughly $720,000 in gross income. His net worth is about $65,000, most of it in his 401k. Where did the other $655,000 go? It went to living the life that someone making $115,000 is expected to live. Here's what most people don't understand about how salaries are determined. Companies don't pay you based on the value you create. They pay you based on what it costs to keep you. And what it costs to keep you is calibrated to your lifestyle expenses, not to your wealth-building goals. When a company offers you $115,000, they've done research. They know what software engineers in Seattle are making. They know what it costs to live in Seattle. They know that $115,000 will allow you to rent a decent apartment, drive a reliable car, pay off your student loans gradually, and live a comfortable but not lavish lifestyle. In other words, they know that $115,000 will keep you working. If they paid you $80,000, you might leave for a better offer or feel undervalued. If they paid you $200,000, they'd be overpaying relative to what's necessary to retain you. So they pay you $115,000, just enough to keep you engaged, productive, and unlikely to leave. This isn't exploitation, this is just how labor markets work. Your salary reflects your replacement cost, not your potential to build wealth. Now, here's the critical part. The entire economy is structured around this principle. Housing costs in Seattle rise to absorb what tech workers make. Car dealerships offer financing that aligns with tech salaries. Restaurants and entertainment price themselves for the demographic. The cost of living rises to meet the income level.
So even though Chris makes $115,000, his actual financial freedom is minimal. He's earning more, but he's also spending more to maintain the lifestyle expected of someone earning that amount. This is why a $20,000 raise rarely changes your financial position. Your expenses just expand to match it. Let me show you why salary alone will never make you rich, even a good salary. Chris makes $115,000. After taxes, he takes home $81,600 a year. His expenses are about $63,900. That leaves $17,700 a year, or about $1,475 a month. If Chris saves every penny of that for 30 years and invests it at a 7% return, he'll have about $1.77 million. That sounds like a lot, but adjusted for inflation, that's maybe $900,000 in today's purchasing power. And that's assuming he saves literally everything left over for 30 years straight. No emergencies, no helping family, no unexpected expenses. In reality, Chris will save some of it, spend some of it, and end up with significantly less. Now, let's compare that to wealth building through ownership. Let's say someone else in Chris's position, making the same $115,000, makes different choices. Instead of renting a $2,400 apartment, they rent a $1,400 apartment with roommates for 5 years. Instead of a $520 car payment, they buy a $10,000 used car with cash. These two changes alone free up about $1,500 a month. They take that $1,500 and invest it aggressively for 5 years. At the end of 5 years, they have about $105,000, assuming a 7% return. They then use that $105,000 as a down payment on a duplex. They live in one unit and rent out the other. The rental income covers most of their mortgage. Over the next 25 years, they pay down the mortgage while the property appreciates. At the end of 30 years, they own a property worth maybe $650,000 with no mortgage. They also have the equity they continued to build. And they didn't have to save perfectly for 3 decades. They just made strategic decisions in their 20s and let ownership compound. That's the difference between salary-based wealth and ownership-based wealth. One requires perfect discipline for decades. The other requires smart decisions once and patience.
So why doesn't Chris see this? There's a concept called earned income bias. We overvalue money we earn through work and undervalue money that comes from ownership. It feels virtuous to work hard and earn a salary. It feels almost lazy to make money through assets. So Chris keeps optimizing his career. He studies for interviews, he negotiates raises, he changes jobs for better comp packages. All of this is important, but it's optimizing the wrong variable. He's optimizing his salary when he should be optimizing his ownership. There's also lifestyle signaling. Chris makes $115,000. He feels like he should live like someone who makes $115,000. Driving a nice car, living in a nice apartment, going to nice restaurants. These things signal that he's successful. And they are signals of income, but they're not signals of wealth. Actual wealthy people often don't signal income. They signal ownership. They might drive a modest car but own 3 rental properties. They might live in a normal house but have $2 million in index funds. The signals are different. Chris is playing the income game, trying to look successful by spending, but wealthy people are playing the ownership game, trying to be free by owning assets that generate income without their labor. And because Chris's peer group is all playing the income game, he doesn't see the alternative clearly. Everyone around him is renting, financing cars, and spending their disposable income. It feels normal. Let's project Chris's life forward 20 years if nothing changes. At 53, he's probably making around $160,000, assuming his career progresses normally. After taxes, that's about $112,000 take-home. His lifestyle has expanded accordingly. He might own a condo now with a mortgage. He might have a nicer car. His expenses have grown to match his income. He probably has $400,000 in his 401k if he's been diligent. He has maybe $100,000 in home equity. His net worth is around $500,000. That's comfortable. That's upper middle class. But it's not rich. It's not financially free. He still needs to work.
If he loses his job, he's in trouble within months. He can't retire early. He can't take a year off to do something different. He's trapped by his salary. Now let's look at the alternate path. The person who sacrificed in their 20s, built ownership, and let it compound. At 53, they might still be making $160,000 in their career, but they also own multiple properties generating $4,000 a month in net rental income. They have $800,000 in index funds generating another $56,000 a year in growth. Their net worth is over $2 million. They don't need their salary to live. The salary is optional. They have freedom. They can take risks. They can say no to work they don't want to do. Same starting salary, same career trajectory, completely different outcomes, because one understood that salary pays for living and ownership pays for freedom. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Your salary is not a wealth-building tool. It's a retention and productivity tool. Your employer pays you enough to keep you working, not enough to stop working. If your salary allowed you to build wealth quickly, you'd leave. You'd become financially independent and stop being a productive employee. That's not in their interest. So salaries are calibrated to be just enough. Enough to live, enough to feel rewarded, enough to keep participating, but not enough to escape unless you do something significantly different with it. This isn't a conspiracy, it's just incentive alignment. Companies need workers, workers need income. The exchange happens at the minimum necessary rate. The people who understand this don't try to get rich from their salary. They use their salary as fuel. Fuel to buy assets, fuel to build ownership, fuel to create income streams that aren't tied to their time. They see their salary for what it is, a tool, not a destination. Your salary was never designed to make you rich. It was designed to compensate you for your time and keep you productive. If you're making good money and still feel financially stuck, it's not because you're failing. It's because you're using your salary the way it's designed to be used, to fund your lifestyle. But if you want something different, if you want actual wealth and freedom, you have to use your salary differently. Not as spending money, as capital, money that buys assets, assets that generate income, income that eventually replaces your salary. The game isn't to earn more, though that helps. The game is to convert earnings into ownership. And the sooner you start playing that game, the sooner you stop being dependent on your paycheck. If this changed how you think about your salary, consider subscribing. I break down these realities every day, clearly, calmly, no hype, just the mechanisms most people never see until it's too late. Thanks for watching.